remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about that guy who took the selfie and sent it to his girlfriend, and she can see in the reflection of his glasses that there was another girl there. And then we talked about that Tinder date that girl went on, or Bumble date or whatever. And in the guy's glasses, she could see that he was on his phone on Bumble swiping like for another girl because clearly the date wasn't going well. So you would think, like, I don't know, like if you're going to be using your phone for shit, at this point, you should be better at it. You should know. Like, just use your brain for a second before you take a selfie and send it to your significant other, especially if you are cheating. So the latest story is this one chick. Okay, so she gets this selfie from her husband. Okay, he's on like a business trip or whatever. And he sends her like 2 pictures. And so she posts the picture, and first she's like, what do you notice? And immediately you can see he's not wearing his wedding ring. And he's in a bathroom. It's a bathroom selfie. And you can see a straightening iron is right there. And so is a detangling brush. And he has like no hair. So obviously there's a girl staying in his room, because why would there be a straightening iron and a detangling brush? And then there was one other detail that I missed that the wife caught. So she got on her TikTok and she was like talking to people about it, and she's had like 4,000 views. I'm sorry, my bad. 4 million views and comments on this by now.
So the very first thing I noticed when he sent me those 2 pictures was, of course, the straightener. It was just right there in plain sight. That's the very first thing I saw. And, the second thing I noticed was the purse on the floor. It looks like a Coach bag or something.
I missed this. I missed the purse on the floor.
Supposedly, he said that wasn't his room, and that was a friend's room he was in, like another guy's room.
I was taking a mirror selfie in a friend's room.
Right. But I'm not believing it, because that's just all too sketchy. Like, why are you in somebody else's room taking photos?
It was some chick's room, obviously.
If you're there in Biloxi and you see somebody that's like 6'4", 6'5", he's light-skinned with brown hair at the top and blonde at the bottom, and his dreads go a little past his shoulders, let me know. I'm trying to see like if he's lying or if he's not, because I think
he's lying.
Is this the best way to catch a guy? You just get on TikTok and be like, here's what he looks like. If you're in Biloxi, like, you will notice this guy. He's 6'5". First of all, any guy who's 6'5" in Biloxi, boom, there he is.
Right. And with 2 different, he has Miley Cyrus hair.
And then on top of it, he's got Miley, right? And then on top of it, he's got the Miley Cyrus hair. So people are going to be like, there he is, pulling out my phone. Oh, there, okay, sending this over to your wife.
Yeah, there was a lady took a selfie in a hotel room, and when she sent it to her husband was like, "There's work boots on the floor." So I guess you didn't see the work boots,
right?
And so she got busted then.
It's really easy to cheat and not get caught. I know this is terrible. I'm even saying this. And I'm not saying this from experience. I have a friend who cheated on his wife for their entire marriage. They're divorced now, and he's with somebody completely else. But for the most part, like, he was with his wife for, I don't know, let's say 7 years. For 6 of those years, he was dating this other woman. So he had these rules. And these were his cheating rules that he lived by. And I was like, these are good. Like, if I'm ever going to have an affair, these are really good rules.
It's like Zombieland. You need rules.
Right.
That you have to follow, and you can't break them. If you break the rule, you're going to get caught.
Exactly. And that's how his rules are designed. They're designed to not get caught. And if you break even one of them, you got problems. So his first rule is, whenever they met to have sex, they never met in the same place twice. They didn't keep going to the same place over and over, because eventually people get to know you, they see you, and then, like, if your wife shows up, they'd be like, wait a minute, who are you? He's always here with Tina. Like, what are you doing? So always go to someplace different every single time. So that's rule number 1 for him. Rule number 2 is, when they do stay in a hotel, bring your own shampoo and soap and aftershave. Bring all the stuff you normally use at home, because you're going to go home smelling like the shampoo and the soap that they provide for you at the hotel.
Oh, because that's a dead giveaway. Really good shampoo.
Yeah, right. But unless you use that at home, that's a huge mistake. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make a plan with your mistress or Mr. or whatever, that you do not buy gifts for each other. No gifts at all. Nothing that could be found around the house, nothing with a name on it, no gifts whatsoever. If you want to like celebrate a birthday, do it with a blowjob or do it with like a going out for dinner or like, make it find an experience rather than a thing that you can get caught with. And the biggest rule, and I'm telling you, the only reason I know about this because it's a long story, but I ended up meeting her in another context and putting two and two together. So he eventually had to tell me, but I didn't know his wife, so it didn't matter. And I didn't care. He was my friend. I could care less. But the number one rule is nobody could know except for you and the mistress. Literally nobody else.
Right. You got to tell one friend, though.
So he had this one male friend that he was really tight with, who was like his friend, who hated his wife. So he knew that was safe. But he had this third friend that, he was friendly with his wife also. And he said he was never going to take a risk because if he ever did anything to screw his friend up and his friend was like pissed at him, he'd be like, I'm telling your wife. Like, you can't have somebody that if something goes wrong, they can hold anything over you. So nobody could know. But like I said, he had that one friend who just hated his wife. So he was like, well, he'll love this. Have you ever had any friends that have had affairs that you've known about?
Yes.
And did they have rules? How did they keep it secret or did they not?
They did keep it secret with me. I mean, we sat down and they told me all about it. And it was shocking, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to tell their wife or their husband. It's not going to happen.
Why was it shocking?
I'll explain it to you off the air.
Oh, okay.
But
so
it was very shocking how it happened and when it happened. I would say when it happened was the shocking thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it's something that
I really want to know.
But I can't because I'm not even going to say he or she, they could be listening to this and it's not good.
Right. It's not good. It's not
yeah,
good.
There's no way, even after I tell you, you will hate this person.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear about it.
I mean, I can't hate the person because I've known them for a long time, but
right.
But you will hate that person.
Nah, I don't judge people anymore. Like I used
you'll
to.
judge this one. There's no way around it.
Some people are human garbage. Yeah, that's true. There's human garbage out there. That's really true. No, yeah, I mean, I've come to realize that sometimes with affairs, they help keep a relationship together, as weird as that sounds, because my friend that had the affair with all the rules who I just told you about, he had other rules that I can't remember right now, but he was able to keep his marriage together for his children because of his mistress. Like, had he not had the mistress, he would have left the wife, 2 years in when the kids were like babies. And then that would have been crappy for the kids,
So if they didn't have kids, he would have been gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And the reason why he finally left is because the kids were old enough. I mean, they were still kind of living at home, but it was still a thing where like he just couldn't take it another minute.
Right. But you're doing it for the kids.
Right. So he did it for the kids, which is, and he was really good at like getting along really well with the wife. It wasn't a war zone, which is why he decided to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why he was able to stay is because he had this girlfriend. But interestingly enough, when he split up with the wife, he split up with the girlfriend too, which is your evidence right there that it was the girlfriend that helped him stay in his marriage. So, and people have open relationships that they don't tell you about, like I've been in a situation. Oh my God. I was at a bar with some friends, obviously before COVID, and we saw this friend of ours' wife with another guy. And we were like, but she was with him. It was so obvious that she was with him.
Mm.
So we were like, do we tell our friend? Do we not? Does he know? Is it our business? And in the end, we decided that, you know what, maybe they have an open marriage. We don't know them well enough. We're not going to get involved. We're not going to say anything. It's not like the guy was like, tell me if you see her with somebody. Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
It just, that never happened. So we were like, you know what? Mind your own beeswax. Stay out of it.
I think a lot of your friends tell you they have open relationships and they don't. Because it seems that a lot of your friends, quote, have open marriages.
Well, I have this one girlfriend that definitely does. Here's my favorite part.
Okay.
So she definitely
Unless they're
does.
telling you together in the same room with you sitting there, the husband and the wife saying, yes, we have an open relationship, don't believe it.
No, I do believe it because this was the contingency. She was not going to marry him unless he agreed to this, right? So they both travel for a living. They both in industries that they're both, traveling right now. Right now, neither one of them are traveling, obviously, but in normal circumstances, they're both traveling all over the country. So they made a rule that you can do whatever you want to as long as it's in that other city. Like in our city, let's say they live in Philly, like
Different zip code.
Nothing, yeah, different zip code is fine.
Mm.
And so what happened was, so she's on, she's kind of hot, so she's honest, and she's like, she says to guys, I just want to hook up, I just want sex, I don't want anything serious. So a guy's like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait a minute. So I get to have sex with you, and then don't have to call you. I don't have to date you. I don't have to buy you anything.
Yeah, I don't have to take you to dinner.
Right. This is just sex every time you come to this city. Awesome. So it works very well for women, but try that with a guy. Can you imagine a guy, and he's a good looking guy. So he's I think this happened to him in Memphis. It was the first time that he like met this girl. And he's like, listen, I have to be honest. I'm married. She's like, but you're getting divorced. And he's like, no, I'm married. I'm in an open marriage, and I'm never leaving my wife. We just adopted a baby together. Like, I'm with her. Like, this is never going to be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Later. You want to just have sex with me for the night? How nice for you. Goodbye. So it was much harder for him to find women to have affairs with than it was for her to find men.
The guy is going to get the losing end of this.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a swinging couple and you go to a swinging party, the guy is never going to look good. I mean, it's always going to be, true. He's always going to be standing in the corner going, hey, what about me? That never works out.
Yeah. And the funniest part about it, so here we are, like, he finally hooked up, and their rule is they have a don't ask, don't tell policy. Do whatever you want to when you go to other cities. I just don't want to know. Like, don't tell me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is the policy. He was so excited that he finally hooked up with somebody. He couldn't wait to get home and tell somebody, but the only person in his life is her. So he was like, can I tell you about it? And she's like,
no.
The don't tell part is a big part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not asking. You don't ask.
No.
Just don't tell. I don't want to know. He's like, but I finally hooked up with.
He wants to do play-by-play.
He finally hooked up with somebody after all this time, and he couldn't wait to tell somebody. But like, he didn't have anybody in his life that he felt comfortable with. So, yeah, she's like, no, don't tell me. No, good for you. Good job there.
Yeah, high five. Just don't want to know.
High five, but yeah, no, the don't tell part is a part of the don't ask, don't tell. It's the second part. First is don't ask, then don't tell.
Yeah, got it.